There's something about a storm on the prairie that shows you exactly who a person is. And in the hard Texas country of 1883, one storm would change everything for a widow named Martha Patterson, because the man who walked up to her gate that night wasn't who he claimed to be, and what he was about to do would decide whether she lost everything. Martha Patterson lived alone on the edge of survival, out in the Texas plains, where the land gave nothing freely and every day felt like a test you could fail. She held on to a small cabin, a few chickens, and 160 acres that meant more to her than life itself. It was all she had left. Her husband was gone, her family long buried, and the world had made it very clear no one was coming to help her. Late one afternoon, as the sky darkened into something mean and heavy, Martha looked up from her sewing. A man was walking toward her gate. No horse, no wagon, no supplies, just a long, slow walk through dust and heat like every step cost him something. That alone was enough to make her uneasy. But it was the storm behind him that made the moment dangerous. Because out here, you didn't turn away a man right before a storm, and you didn't trust one either. By the time he reached the gate, thunder was already rolling across the plains. "Ma'am," he said, removing his hat, his voice rough but controlled. "Storm's coming hard. Mind if I wait it out on your porch?" Martha didn't answer right away. She studied him. His clothes were worn, but not filthy. His hands were scarred, but steady. And most importantly, he didn't look desperate. He looked disciplined. That was harder to trust. Her eyes flicked to the shotgun just inside the door, then back to him. "The porch is there," she said finally. Not welcoming, not refusing, just allowing. The storm hit like a hammer. Rain slammed the roof. Thunder cracked, so loud it shook the boards beneath their feet. But the stranger didn't move much. He didn't fidget, didn't panic, didn't even try to make conversation. He just sat there, listening, like the storm was something he understood. And that's when Martha noticed it. A dark stain on his sleeve. Too dark to be mud, too fresh to ignore. He was hurt, and he hadn't said a word about it. By morning, he was gone. No goodbye, no trace, just silence. At least, that's what she thought, until she stepped outside. The sound of metal striking metal rang through the morning air. Martha grabbed her shotgun and moved fast, and what she saw stopped her cold. The stranger was at her gate, shirtless, working. Her broken gate, the one she hadn't been able to fix in 3 years, was taken apart, laid out carefully in the dirt. Her late husband's tools, cleaned, organized, used with precision. "You got no call touching those," she said sharply. He didn't argue, didn't apologize. "Gate was weak," he said simply. "I figured I'd fix it. I didn't ask you to." "No, ma'am." He pulled the leather tight between his hands. But a debt's a debt. That line stuck with her, because she hadn't asked for anything. And yet, he was giving something back anyway. Inside, the fire was already lit. Water had been hauled. Everything done, without a word, without being asked. That's when Martha realized something important. This man wasn't drifting. He was choosing. She handed him coffee, watched him drink, watched the way he moved, measured, quiet, certain. "Gate's done," he said, standing. "Storm's past. I'll be moving on." And that should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. "Wait." The word came out before she could stop it. She pointed west. "Creek's flooded. You'll have to go north to cross." It was a lie. A small one, but a deliberate one. Then she added, "I got fence needs fixing. Back 40. I can pay in meals." He looked at her, not suspicious, not surprised, just understanding. "Fair trade," he said. And just like that, the stranger stayed. His name was Silas. Over the next few days, something strange happened. They didn't talk much, didn't need to. He worked the land like he already knew it. Every post, every wire, every weak point. He didn't rush, didn't complain. He just fixed things. And slowly, the place began to feel different. Stronger, steadier, alive again. But just as something new began to take root, the real storm arrived. It didn't come from the sky. It came in a black buggy. A man named Thornton stepped onto her land like he already owned it, papers in hand, smile thin, voice smooth. "You're behind on taxes," he said. $47. Martha felt the ground shift beneath her. She had 18. That was it. Thornton didn't miss a beat. "I'll give you $150 for the land today," he said, "or lose it at auction." And just like that, everything she had left was on the line. Silas stepped forward, quiet, controlled. "That land's worth 5 times that," he said. Thornton's smile tightened. "And you are?" Silas didn't answer. Not fully. And that's when Martha realized. She still didn't know who he really was. That night, she couldn't sleep. 3 weeks, $18, and everything slipping away. Outside, Silas sat on the porch, waiting, thinking. "You ain't alone no more," he said quietly, and for the first time in years, she believed it. Days later, the truth came. At the courthouse, in front of everyone, Martha stood there, waiting to lose everything, until a voice cut through the crowd. "I'm here on behalf of Mrs. Patterson." Silas stepped forward, but he wasn't the same man. Clean suit, polished boots, presence that filled the space. He placed the money down. "All debts paid." Silence. "Who are you?" Thornton demanded. Silas handed him a card, and just like that, the truth hit. He wasn't a drifter. He was Silas Blackwood, a cattle baron, a man with more power than anyone in that town. And he had chosen to sleep on her porch. The auction was cancelled. The land was saved. But Martha didn't celebrate. "You lied to me," she said. Silas didn't deny it. "I needed to know something," he said quietly. "What?" "If kindness like yours still existed." Silence stretched between them, because the truth hurt, but it didn't erase what he had done, or what they had built. "You should have trusted me," she said. "I know." A long pause. Then she took his hand. "Partners," she said. And this time, it meant something different, because this wasn't about survival anymore. It was about building something real, together, out on that hard Texas land, where storms came without warning, and people showed you exactly who they were, when it mattered most.